In 2026, some of the most recognizable cruise brands are quietly losing repeat cruisers. Not because cruising is dying, but because expectations have changed and these lines didn't keep up. And if you book the wrong line the same way you always have, the consequences aren't dramatic headlines. They're slower service, dirtier cabins, overcrowded ships, higher surprise charges, and that uncomfortable feeling halfway through the voyage where you realize you chose wrong. But if you follow this checklist step by step, you'll know exactly which lines seasoned cruisers are walking away from, and more importantly, how to protect yourself before you book. This is about cruising cleaner, calmer, safer, and smarter. This is Shipverse. Phase 1, reset your assumptions before you book. Step 1, stop assuming popularity equals quality action. Mentally separate, well-known from well-run. Why it matters in 2026, the busiest cruise lines are often the most strained, ships are sailing full, crews are thinner, and systems are pushed to their limit. Popularity now hides problems instead of proving quality. What goes wrong if you board expecting smooth service and instead deal with long lines, rushed crew, and constant small frustrations that add up over a week? Pro tip: repeat cruisers aren't leaving because of one bad trip. They're leaving because 3 small issues happen every single day. Step 1, understand why cruisers walk away. Action: look for patterns, not complaints. Why it matters: one angry review means nothing. Thousands of quiet, non-return bookings mean everything. In 2026, the biggest warning sign is not outrage, it's silence. What goes wrong if you dismiss warning signs as internet negativity and miss the real trend? Insider detail: cruise lines track repeat booking rates more closely than satisfaction surveys. When repeat rates drop, something is wrong. Phase 2, the budget trap lines people are leaving first. Step 3, recognize when cheap became crowded. Action: evaluate ultra-budget cruise lines. Why it matters: several low-cost lines expanded too fast. Ships are packed. Public areas are overwhelmed. Dining becomes chaotic. What goes wrong if you save $200 on the fare and spend it in frustration, waiting for elevators, hunting for seats? Pro tip: when a ship sails over 105% occupancy regularly, service quality drops first. Step 4, watch for dining degradation. Action: pay attention to food complaints, not menus. Why it matters in 2026, some budget lines quietly reduced ingredient quality, portion sizes, and dining staff. Food looks the same on paper but tastes rushed and inconsistent. What goes wrong if you rely on included dining and end up paying extra for specialty restaurants just to enjoy meals? Insider detail: when lines cut galley staffing, wait times rise before food quality visibly drops. Cruisers are walking away from budget lines that no longer feel like a value, because value isn't price, it's experience per dollar. Phase 3, the mass market lines losing trust. Step 5, identify nickel and dime fatigue. Action: track what used to be free and now costs extra. Why it matters in 2026, several mass market lines added small charges everywhere: room service, late night snacks, basic entertainment perks. What goes wrong if your final onboard bill shocks you, even though nothing felt expensive individually? Pro tip: if a cruise line markets low fares aggressively, expect aggressive onboard monetization. Step 6, watch for inconsistent service tiers. Action: compare treatment across cabin classes. Why it matters: some lines now heavily prioritize suite guests at the expense of everyone else. Standard cabin passengers notice slower responses and less flexibility. What goes wrong if you feel invisible unless you upgrade? Insider detail: crew assignment algorithms now route senior staff toward premium zones on certain ships. Cruisers aren't leaving because they hate upgrades. They're leaving because baseline service stopped feeling respectful. Phase 4, the premium lines that lost their identity. Step 70, spot brand drift. Action: compare what the line promised 5 years ago versus now. Why it matters: some premium lines expanded fleets and diluted standards. Ships got bigger. Experiences got blander. What goes wrong if you pay premium prices for what feels like mass market execution? Pro tip: when a premium line advertises family attractions heavily, traditional cruisers often leave quietly. Step 80, watch for crew turnover. Action: read between the lines in reviews. Why it matters: high crew turnover leads to inconsistent service. Politeness remains, but confidence disappears. What goes wrong if you experience polite confusion instead of proactive service? Insider detail: veteran crew are usually the first to leave when conditions change. Phase 5, the luxury lines people are pausing, not abandoning. Step 9, understand pricing shock. Action: calculate total trip cost, not base fare. Why it matters: some luxury lines raise prices sharply in 2026 while quietly reducing inclusions. What goes wrong if you feel overcharged? not pampered. Pro tip: luxury cruisers don't mind paying more, but they demand visible value. Step Tunde: watch for itinerary dilution action. Examine port times carefully. Why it matters. Shorter port stays save fuel and staffing costs but reduce experience depth. What goes wrong if skipped? You rush ports you paid to savor. Insider detail: extended port days are often the first thing cut when costs rise. Cruisers aren't rejecting luxury, they're rejecting luxury that feels rushed. Phase 60. The expedition and niche lines with hidden risks. Step 11. Verify operational experience action. Check how long the line has run that itinerary. Why it matters. New expedition routes sound exciting but come with growing pains. What goes wrong if skip delays, canceled landings, or safety briefings that feel improvised? Pro tip: experience matters more than ship age in remote cruising. Step 12. Scrutinize medical readiness action. Confirm onboard medical capabilities. Why it matters. Remote routes amplify small health issues. What goes wrong if skipped evacuations become expensive and stressful? Insider detail: some niche lines rely on external evacuation agreements instead of onboard capacity. Phase 70. How smart cruisers protect themselves. Step 30. Track repeat cruiser language action. Listen to how people describe return intentions. Why it matters. It was fine is not loyalty. What goes wrong if skip you mistake politeness for satisfaction? Pro tip: loyal cruisers speak emotionally, not factually. Step 14. Hey, watch where veterans migrate action. Follow where experienced cruisers go next. Why it matters. Patterns reveal quality shifts faster than ads. What goes wrong if skipped? You stay with a declining line while others quietly upgrade experiences. Phase 80. Final checklist before you book. Step 15. Compare 3 things only action. Compare cleanliness reports, crew sentiment, and repeat booking stories. Why it matters. These predict experience better than ship size or attractions. What goes wrong if skipped? You choose flashover function. Insider detail: clean ships and happy crew almost always equal good cruises. Traps to avoid before you commit: do not book based solely on price. Do not assume a newer ship means better service. Do not ignore small recurring complaints. Do not rely on brand loyalty alone. Cruisers aren't walking away from cruising. They're walking away from lines that stopped listening. If you've cruised recently, I want to hear from you. Which line surprised you, for better or worse?